So what is your favorite place in Ghana?
Um, my favorite place in Ghana was probably Mole. It was really cool because it was really like, secluded, and we went on a safari there, and that's where we played the soccer game against the Mole team. And also, the morning after we went on safari, we had the entire day free, so everybody was just kind of like hanging out, and then we just a group of like six of us. They had this overhang, and we sat out on the overhang for like 4 hours, just looking over the national park and like talking and watching the sunset. So that was pretty much made Mole the best place ever, and it was so secluded. Other places had like internet access, which was I was shocked by, but Mole had nothing. It was just like nothing there. It was just animals and nature, and it was great. So definitely Mole.
And your favorite Ghanaian experience?
Um, my favorite experience, we got to go to a village. It is an eco village called Magori, and it was in Mole. And outside of Magori, there was a tribe. They're called Fulanis, and they're nomads. And what they do is they randomly make home outside of different villages, and they're known for how good they can take care of cattle. So people just give them their cattle, and then they take care of it, and then they just pick up and leave whenever they're ready to go. And so we were actually lucky enough that a Fulani tribe was like had made camp outside Magori, and we got to go out to where their camp was, like a little bit away from the village, and meet them. And we were actually the first like white people they've ever met. And so it was a lot of fun because I gave them a soccer ball, and it was like a small family. I think there was like 7 of them, and that was their tribe. And so that was a really interesting experience because you could tell they were just as like shocked and excited to meet us as we were to meet them. So it was pretty cool.
Can you talk about your family stay, like the relatives and the chores?
Yeah, when we were in Sokote, we got to split up into groups of 3 and do family stays and go around this, like, their small little family village or, like, township, I guess, and help them with their chores and just, like, see how they live their everyday life. And 2 17-year-olds, Benjamin and Bismarck, were actually the 2 that showed us around and could speak English. And so they took us around their entire village, and it was hysterical because the whole time we were there was a group of like 30 kids just following us, like on your hills. And so it was really cute. But we got to meet their elder of their family, and he's actually 96 years old, which is shocking. He was still doing chores. He was great. So he like sat down, and although he couldn't speak English, he was like trying to communicate with us and like wanted to talk. And we shelled peanuts for them. They had like an okra field, so they took us out and showed us all the okra. And we saw how to make palm wine, which is actually really good, and it's actually made from the palm trees. Benjamin like climbed a coconut tree and like knocked down a coconut, and we got to drink and eat the coconut like straight from the tree, which was a very interesting experience to say the least. And one of their sisters, her name was Peace, and she was very outspoken. She was about 16 years old and could speak English, and so she came up to me and she was like, "Hey, Sydney, you need to find me an American boyfriend." And I was like, "All right, well, like, why do you want an American boyfriend?" And she was like, "Because I need a laptop so I can keep on going to school." So it was interesting to like just see how their life compares to ours, and they were just shocked that we had cars, which is something that I've taken for granted since I was 16 years old. But so that was really neat to see how they live, and just they were so excited for us to be there, it was really interesting because as much as we were excited, they just seemed to be so much more excited that we were there seeing their life. And they actually took my iPod, and I have an iPod Touch where you can just like play the music from it. And Benjamin and Bismarck were like going through all my music and like dancing, and they were like dancing to the music on the iPod. So it was a really cool experience to just like see their life and see what they do day to day, and just like the work they put into making even like the smallest thing is amazing. Everything's like a 20-step process that they have to go to, and they wake up and just get it done. So it definitely showed you how different our lives were.
And do you keep in touch?
Yeah, actually I do. Bismarck actually has a Facebook. So I keep in touch with him on Facebook. He gets on every once in a while because he's at university now, so he has a little bit more of access to computers. But I keep in touch with him, and then also I keep in touch with the soccer coach from Mole. he emails me back and forth. And then one of the other guys we met in Accra who works at the market, he actually makes drums. So me and another girl on the trip keep in touch with him. He actually text messages us every once in a while. So it's pretty interesting. Everybody had a cell phone, so it makes it pretty easy to keep in touch.
What differences did you notice between American football culture and Ghanaian football culture?
Well, in Ghana, like, football or soccer is life. Like, that's what you do. And it was amazing because, like, every little village you went to, no matter how small it was, they had, like, a makeshift soccer field somewhere. And there was always somebody playing on it, which was... It was so amazing to see because soccer sometimes gets overlooked in the U.S. because, I mean, we are so big on football, baseball, and basketball. And so it was just, like, refreshing to go somewhere and see where, like, soccer or football is, like, thought of as much as we think of as American football. You know, it's, like, so high. But it's just, like, it's so much of a way of life there that, like, if everybody plays, no matter what you're doing. If it's like 4 o'clock in the afternoon and someone wants to play a pickup game, you drop everything you're doing and you go play soccer, which it was so great. And the best part about it was they play barefoot all the time. Like they don't have shoes, they don't have shin guards, they don't have soccer balls really. They all have this like old ratty soccer ball and like nothing else, and they just go and play and they're the happiest ever. So it just shows that, I mean, you don't have to have much to just like pick up a ball and play, and it just shows how amazing it is for their life and their culture. So it was really great to see that.
And I know that you played a real game against the Malay soccer team. And how was that? And how was it playing with Ghanaians on the team? Like, were there any communication difficulties, or how was that?
The good thing about Ghana is the language that most, especially the younger generations, know is English, because Ghana was a British colony, and so the language barrier wasn't too bad, especially with younger kids. But the soccer game was awesome. We played in Mole, so we're like in the middle of this like animal reserve national park, and we're playing a soccer game, and like warthogs are walking across the field. It was ridiculous. And actually a few Ghanaians, they play on our team every year because this is like an annual thing that they do up there. So we had a few Ghanaians that played on our team, like our Christopher, our guide for our safari, actually played on our team. And then we played against a lot of their actual like team in Mole. They had purple jerseys, they were so cool. And some of them had cleats, some of them didn't, and a lot of the times they just like took off their shoes halfway through the game because they're so used to playing barefoot. But actually the Elon team won this year, which is the first time we've ever won, which was really cool. And I played in goal, which was so entertaining. I actually had on just like shorts, no gloves, no nothing, and like went to dive for a ball, and it scraped up all the side because there was no grass on the field, and it was just this like old ratty net. It was one of the best experiences of my life because like there were so many people there. Everybody that was staying at the hotel in Mole from all over the world came and watched this game, and then everybody that lived in the village came out and were watching the games. There were kids lining the field. We had like 100 ball boys that every time the ball would go out of bounds, they would just like sprint to get it and like fight over who would give it back to you. And it was such a refreshing experience just to like remember and realize like why I started to play soccer when I was so young, because it was just so much fun, and like it was so innocent and great. And so it was a really cool experience to play and take part in that. And even though we won, they weren't sore losers at all whatsoever. You could tell they were kind of mad that a bunch of Americans beat them, but it was a lot of fun. Afterwards we took a big group picture and just like hung out that night at the hotel, so it was really cool.
So do you have any plans to return to Ghana anytime soon? And are there any other parts of Africa that you're looking to explore?
I want to go back to Ghana as soon as I can afford the plane ticket. If I could have stayed over there for my last semester, I probably would have. It was just such a life-changing experience, and I felt so comfortable in that country. So I really want to go back as soon as I can. I would love to go and do something with soccer over there, either coach or start some kind of organization, or to like give soccer balls to kids or something. I would just love to go back and help the people more, because they're so kind and nice and deserving that it would just be great to do something to help them have a better life and give them some of the things that I have taken for granted throughout my life. And then I'm also trying to go to Tanzania. I really want to go to Tanzania and climb Kilimanjaro before the snow melts, because they say the snow is going to melt in the next 10 years. So Tanzania is actually like my second place that I'm really trying to get there soon. So hopefully it'll work out.